Clap on. Clap off. That's the Rider.com Big Three. I'm Bass Masters, he's Buck Fever, that is Buzz Cutler. He's got the camera and the questions, which means he's multitasking today as we talk about NASCAR racing, the world's greatest sport.
Better than running with the Bulls in Pamplona?
Well,
Why would you run with
yes,
the Bulls
it's
in Pamplona?
Issue number one. You know, Robbie Loomis says the door has not closed on RPM re-signing Elliott Sadler. Elliott Sadler might have a little different opinion. Let's listen to what Mr. Baloney Burger had to say.
You know, I have no future plans with this race team. You know, we haven't talked about any of our future together at all, which is, hey, that's cool. That's fine with me. I hope that whatever the direction and decision they make is good for them, because Richard Petty needs to be a part of this sport, and we got a lot of great sponsors that need to be a part of NASCAR right now. So I wish them all the luck in the world on their endeavors and which way they go. And, you know, I want to help that. I want to run good so they can attract whatever they need to attract, and it'll also be good for me, too, on the flip side.
You know what that sounds like to me, Buck? It sounds like to me that Elliott Sadler was tired of twisting in the wind, wondering if these guys were going to bring him back. They already tried to fire his butt once, and he had to hold him to his contract. So I think he's saying, I'm going to take control of this situation. I'm ending this relationship. I'm out of here. And now Richard Petty Motorsports is going, wait.
I agree with you completely. He feels like he's been twisting in the wind, and it's totally unfair. And he feels like the only reason they're going to take him is if they've offered it to everybody else. I understand that, and it sucks. But
Yeah, okay. You're right.
if he closes the door, where does he go to?
You know what it reminds me
He
of?
goes to the booth. That's where he goes.
I mean,
Elliott Sadler's a great. I love Elliott Sadler. I really like the guy. I would love to see him get another chance or keep this ride, because this team is intriguing still, despite all the turmoil. Reminds me a little bit of the Richard Childress, Kevin Harvick situation last year, where Harvick said all the stuff about basically, I'm out of here. I mean, he all but said that.
Totally.
Childress didn't say anything, essentially, didn't fire back or get all emotional about it, and eventually they worked it out. So it would be nice to see that happen for Elliott. If this team can get a little momentum, it would be great, you know, and we'll see what happens with Todd Parrott. You know, if those guys perform in the last, 16, 17 races here, maybe there's a reason for both sides to come together again.
Speaking of Todd Parrott, let's talk a little bit about Matt Kenseth. His pre-race interview in Chicagoland, I thought perhaps, Kerry Tharp was going to come up and take his belt away from him and his shoelaces just because Matt Kenseth...
You're going to have some Velcro sneakers, mister.
Exactly.
I mean, the dude is bummed out.
Well, let's just listen. I mean, it's like he's channeling Mark Martin.
I don't know what's wrong, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really don't. I wish I had a better answer for you, but we've been working on it for a couple of years, and there's been a lot of things changed. There's been some things that haven't been changed, but there's been a lot of things changed. So I mean, I don't really know.
You know, it sounds to me like he's channeling Eeyore.
he is channeling
Right?
Eeyore, and
Okay.
Mark Martin is his hero, so I guess he's being very Mark Martin-like. You know, he's had a frustrating season, and he's starting to sound like the old...
Why doesn't anybody listen to me? Chicagoland, and Matt said this before the race too, was one of his best racetracks to go out there and kind of flounder. Now, he came on late in the race and finished 13th, I believe, which is decent given the way these cars are running.
Absolutely.
And then you look at how fast Biffle and Carl Edwards were, and maybe there's hope for Matt Kenseth. But think about it this way. He's on his third crew chief of 2010.
I know, it's
How
crazy.
much success can you expect when your team is behind and you're on your third crew chief?
Well,
I'm sorry, it's not a formula for success. It's a formula for what you just saw, which is frustration.
Well, who's at fault here? Is it the guy that has 3 crew chiefs?
I
or is it-
blame society.
You know what? It doesn't matter
It just doesn't matter.
who's at fault.
Can we play that Meatballs clip?
It just doesn't
And
matter.
if I get the audio...
Hey, you on the water skis.
It just doesn't matter. I tell you, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Speaking of who's at fault, I don't know if you guys caught the Victory Lane interview with Kyle Busch after the Nationwide race. Rusty Wallace wasn't conducting it. He was up in the booth. But he did editorialize a little bit on the interview. Let's listen for Rusty
This
Wallace's...
is for the phrase dumbass?
Yeah, his one-word comment at the end of
two
this clip.
words?
No, I think it's a compound noun.
Hyphenated?
No, I think it's a compound noun. You don't hyphenate a compound noun,
I'm going
Bass.
to compound noun you,
Just listen.
dumbass.
Got to thank the fans out there. You know, they I don't know if they didn't appreciate the burnout or if they're just anybody but Busch fans, but they didn't like it too much.
That's all right. You won the race. Congratulations. Kyle Busch, win number 7. Alan?
So here's my question. Who's the bigger dumbass? Kyle Busch for calling out the fans in a funny and sarcastic way, or Rusty Wallace for calling out Kyle Busch in a way that the FCC might frown upon?
Well, you can't. I mean, it's Rusty Wallace. You can't call someone a dumbass, even when they're a dumbass.
I thought his job was to comment on what he sees, and what he saw was Kyle acting like a dumbass, although I'm not sure I agree. That's just Kyle being Kyle.
And he was laughing about it.
He's got personality. He's sarcastic. He doesn't, when he does it like that, he comes off as not taking himself too seriously, which I think, helps him a lot to see that, like, hey, this is all for fun. I think makes people like him more, actually. Yeah, so I think Rusty's takes the dumbass crown for this weekend.
And I think it takes one to know one. I mean, because come on, Rusty Wallace he's popped off himself.
Not only that, but I'm rubber and you're.
You know what we should do? We should get Barry Dodson on the phone and ask him who the bigger dumbass is.
We might have to do that. All right, that has been your Radar.com Big 3 for today. For Dumbass Buck Fever and Dumbass Buzz Cutler, I'm Dumbass Bass Masters. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk NASCAR all week long, despite the off weekend coming up. Do join us at the website, too.
Now,
Radar.com.
Dumbass, he's the guy who wrote The Three Musketeers, right?
That's Dumas.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.